Hey all, JTC here, and welcome back to another user-submitted gameplay review. Today's gameplay comes from Claude Alpha, who is playing Dark Omens on Cataclysm, playing as Zealot with bill hooks and, I believe, brace of pistols. So Claude, thank you so much for your submission, and let's go ahead and jump straight into it. And let's talk about kind of the elephant in the room, Dark Omens. Dark Omens is widely considered to be one of the more difficult maps, just in general, that come from the DLCs and the base game, honestly, and for good reason, because it's Beastmen, which are passively just more difficult than Skaven and Chaos, as well as the two kind of hellish areas, the two open areas that appear first directly after this first event, and then towards the end. And they're specifically difficult because the RNG can definitely screw you over. If you get, a boss and then spammed with specials while getting spammed with banners, and you have a horde, and you have a bunch of armor coming your way, it becomes insanely difficult to survive, and most groups pretty much wipe. But that's not always the case. It's not guaranteed to get spammed with all those things at once. So, the difficulty of the map is definitely more RNG flavored than the rest. So this map can be difficult, but usually it's really not that bad, especially if you are making sure to work together. The hard part of this map comes from Beastmen and the jankness of the Beastmen, but as long as you are semi-comfortable with them and as long as you're willing to work together, the map actually isn't that bad. Now, I didn't actually realize he's playing with 3 bots, the mad lad. That definitely does make everything a lot more difficult, since bots, especially in Cataclysm, are at best stupid, and at worst, a waste of space. So, I see he's going with the more kind of tanky build, although I would question the use of a Grail Knight here. Grail Knight can do well-ish Grail Knight bot, but usually you want to go with, like, Mercenary. See, if you were playing a, if you were wanting to play, with bots with these 3 classes, Ironbreaker, absolutely. Best option by far for Barden. With Kruber, you usually want to go Merc, because Merc offers a lot of utility and survivability for the bot. The shout, the extra temp health, the damage reduction that comes with Merc, and if you slap a shield on him, or even hell, slap a Mason Sword on him, he's actually really, really good. And then, Kerillian is kind of a rough one. Usually, Kerillian bot isn't that great. Personally, I would recommend going Sienna and going Unchained instead. Or, how do you spell Unchained? UC. Ah, damn it. UC Merc. Yeah. That's supposed to be a check mark, but this is the bot, usual bot comp I would recommend. Just usually going as tanky as possible to give the bots some help and survivability. Depending on what the Handmaiden has, she might do well or she might not. But for the most part, since the Handmaiden is just as squishy as her other elven counterparts, it doesn't matter that, she has the other tools to help her survive because the bot's not smart enough to use them. So realistically, Kerillian bot is just going to struggle, or Handmaiden bot in specific is going to struggle just as much as the other Kerillian bots are. This first wave is pretty easy. I really don't expect he's going to run into too much trouble here. And as you can see, he's using a very good attack for the bill hook. The bill hook is actually one of Saltspire's most powerful weapons other than his rapier. A lot of people usually say that Rapier is Saltspire's best, directly followed by Axe and Falchion. But really, the bill hook is a little more powerful than Axe and Falchion because it has the pull, it has good single target damage, and it has really, really good horde clear, which the Axe and Falchion doesn't have as good as. So as we can see, we have some people joining, which is good. We'll see what they join as, and we can analyze kind of that team comp. And then right here, we did have some unfortunate timing with the Minotaur, which, like I said, can definitely cause some issues. So this is definitely good on Claude's part. He's going to kill the archers. Archers aren't necessarily a threat in small quantities like that. They're definitely annoying, but they're not that much of a threat. Because they don't really do much damage. They only stagger a little bit. They become a lot more deadly when either A, they're in a massive group, or B, you're in the middle of a horde situation. But since right now, since it was just a small group of them and a Minotaur, they weren't really that big of a deal. But it's still good to kill them just to be safe. Now, looking at that, we have actual people joining now. Looking at this team comp, okay. Now that we actually have a full group, going back to the team comp, I don't blame people for, joining as they are. Like, of course, this is a quick play, so they had no idea what they were getting into. All three of these guys, including Saltspire, he had no idea what people are going to join as. But all things considered, this is not a bad comp. There's Zealot, and of course, we have the tank. Ironbreaker, we have the Saltspire for tankiness and damage, which is good. We have the Waystalker who I'm assuming is going to be running Longbow, since she actually has, with the mod right here, we can actually see that she has ammo. So I'm assuming she's running Longbow. So she definitely has special killing, and then we have a Pyromancer, which will be able to either do special killing or horde clear. So all things considered, a pretty good team comp. The only thing you would be lacking here is boss damage, because Zealot, Waystalker, and well, let me start over. Ironbreaker, period, end of story, does not have any kind of boss damage whatsoever, period. So you can't expect him to do any kind of significant boss damage. Waystalker can have some boss damage, depending on her build, but considering she's running Longbow, she has none currently, unless she's running Piercing Shot, the single shot ult, but 99.9% of Waystalkers do not run that, so I'm not expecting her to, so I'm going to assume that she has no special killing capabilities. Zealot, his special killing capabilities come specifically from Volley Crossbow, since there is a build using Zealot and Volley Crossbow that allows you to actually get a pretty good amount of boss damage. But Claude is running, as we have already seen, he's running Breaks of Pistols, so he does not have that, so he has no boss damage. The only one who can actually have some boss damage here is a Pyromancer, depending on the staff she's running, and it's, basically, she can either run Beam Staff to get the best boss damage, or she can run Volcanic Staff to get slightly lesser but still okay boss damage, or she can run Fireball or Coruscation for less boss damage. It's basically a 50-50 shot what she's going to run. So, we'll see what she runs. But, oh, no, she's running Hagbane. Okay, never mind. Actually, you're fine with the boss damage. Waystalker's running Hagbane, which, especially when you, if she has Barrage on that Hagbane, and drinks a strength potion, then she will melt bosses. It's just so easy. So, never mind. You guys are good on boss damage. So, very unfortunate. Oh, wow. Whoa, everyone. Okay, hold up. Let's rewind and see what happened, because everyone ran down. Okay. Waystalker goes down. He goes down. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Okay, so yeah. So, right now, this is good. Zealot's trying to get the Waystalker up. I don't know why she's going over here. Maybe to kill the archers over here, but regardless, this Sienna should have been pushing behind you to get the Ironbreaker up. Because you can still block arrows at the end of the day. That, and she has a ranged weapon. She could have just ranged them down. So this definitely, I don't know why the Sienna was going over here, but especially for the Saltspire here, it's definitely good to get the Waystalker up first, because she's the squishier one and she'll die faster than the Ironbreaker, since the Ironbreaker is a little more tanky when he's down. So, yeah. And the Waystalker went down first, so she was going to just passively have less health than the, holy crap, everything's going to shit. Let me talk. Oh my god, I need to talk. Let me rewind and let's play this slowly so I can actually have a chance to talk. It's better to get the Waystalker up in that situation first because A, she went down first, and she's going to just passively have less health than the Ironbreaker who went down second, and B, the Ironbreaker, I'm assuming, is running more defensive things, which is going to give him more time to survive than the Waystalker, who's squishier. I don't know why Sienna goes over here by herself, so she's going to die, obviously. Ironbreaker's up. Yeah, Sienna dies, and then immediately the Corellian dies. So, that was unfortunate. So now it's just the two of you. Let's see what you do. So, I already see one problem. So, both of you die, stuff starts happening, you start fighting. Let's see if I can get the perfect freeze frame here. Right? It's right here. So, right now, two of your teammates are dead, it's just the two of you. Why are you guys so separated? Yes, I did see that this Ironbreaker decided to just go over here by himself. But regardless, it's still on you to realize that you're not close to your teammate and to go over to them. So right now, even though the Ironbreaker made the incorrect decision to completely just abandon you and leave you, you should still realize that you're separated and fight your way over here towards the Ironbreaker. Especially because I hear a hooker over here, off to my left. Somewhere over here, I'm assuming he's up here, which means he can drop literally on top of you and disable you, and that's it for you. Because my assumption is that this Ironbreaker isn't going to be able to help you. Now, of course, I could be wrong. He might be able to help you. But my assumption is he's just not going to help you, considering he just kind of skedaddled over here. So, yeah. You definitely need to be having constant situational awareness. Situational awareness of where your team is. And you should be trying to meet the Ironbreaker, considering it's only just the two of you. Now I hear the hooker to the right. And see, and that ends in an immediate death for the Ironbreaker. I heard 3... That is a lot of hookers. Wow! So, notice what he did right there to prevent getting hooked. Notice how he hooks and then immediately does an overhead. The hook is a guaranteed stagger for whatever it hits, even Chaos Warriors. It's literally a guaranteed stagger for everything in this game except for bosses. So by hooking and then going immediately into a heavy attack, he hooks and then overheads for an instant kill on the hook rats, which prevents them from getting any kind of chance to actually hook him, which is very good on his part. So good job with that. But like I said, if you had met that Ironbreaker near him, you could have prevented that death from happening in the first place. Iron Assassin. Always good to turn and look. You definitely, especially if you hear like an assassin or something that can immediately nab you like that, you don't want to be running away from them. You want to turn to face them, like he did, and get ready for them. Because I see a lot of people attempt to run away from disablers, especially assassins, and assassins are the worst one to do that from, because they can just pounce you from across the map, and you're not going to be able to react in time if you have your back turned to them. So when you hear disablers coming, especially assassins, you want to turn to meet them, so you're ready to kill them. Ooh, there's some juicy potions. I'm also going to try to let this video play a lot more. I know I... Oh, wow. Good night, Waystalker. Oh, my God. I love quick play elves. Ooh, okay. Very good use of that barrel there. Let's go back and look. So right here, he lights the barrel, knowing that there is a banner right here that needs to be destroyed. And my assumption is that you lit this barrel and threw it just in case you got grabbed by the storm, so that the barrel would destroy the banner in case you got incapacitated by the storm, which is a very good use of your resources. For those that don't know, banners are of course destroyed by bombs, but they're also destroyed by just anything that explodes, period. Which is namely bombs and barrels. So barrels are very, very good for that. I believe Trollhammer Torpedo also destroys banners. I'm not actually completely sure of that off the top of my head, but I believe they do. So yeah, using that barrel as a backup was very, very good. There goes the bot. I actually like here how you don't even bother getting the bot. A lot of the times what people would do is they would rush for that bot res and sometimes even end up wiping because of it. I'm always talking about here on the channel how you shouldn't necessarily just go for a res the moment you can, because there's sometimes people that you just can't save. And you need to kind of take a look at your surroundings and see if it's actually possible to save them in the first place. But bots are literally the lowest priority of rezzing when it comes to rezzing at all, really. Because bots are not important, they waste resources, they're pretty much completely useless. So really, if a bot goes down, you should literally completely ignore that bot unless you are 100% confident in your ability to get them up. If you have even the slightest doubt that you're going to be able to get them up, don't even bother. Let the bot die. Because at the end of the day, especially in Cataclysm, bots are just meat shields. That's all they are. So we have someone else joining. I'm wondering what they're going to join as so we can kind of reevaluate the team. This is actually another skill that I should talk about. If you have people leaving and rejoining during your matches, when your quick play matches, you have to have kind of the foresight to see what they're joining as and what their role is going to be and how the roles are going to switch around, right? So, for example, this guy joined as Grill Knight. So let's talk about the before and after. So before, it was Zealot, Ironbreaker, Pyro, Waystalker. So with the previous team comp, pretty much because the Waystalker had Hagbane, she was pretty much not going to be able to kill specials as reliably. So, which meant pretty much, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen what the Pyromancer is running in terms of stabs. So, pretty much, that means that Claude himself was going to be the main special killer. And that the Waystalker was going to be the boss killer most of the time because of that Hagbane. Now, we've kind of shifted things around a little bit. Well, actually not too much, because now we have a Grill Knight. Grill Knight is going to be the boss killer, of course, because Grill Knight's Grill Knight. So basically, the Ironbreaker, his role doesn't change. This person's role doesn't change. This person's the person that left was boss killer. The person that joined that is still boss killer. However, that does put a little more pressure here on Saltspire to be even more of a special killer now. Because, yeah, while the Waystalker wasn't really able to be a good special killer, she could still kill specials with her ult and with her Hagbanes if she needed to. So she was still kind of like a backup special killer, but Grill Knight can't do that. Because he obviously lacks ranged. So he can't do that. So now even more so, Saltspire is even more now more of a special killer than he was before. And this is kind of another skill that you have to learn as you're playing quick plays. As people come and go, you have to learn to reevaluate the team and determine if there are any role switches that's happening within the team, especially with you. Because you might be a special killer, and then someone might leave and someone might rejoin, and then all of a sudden you might be the new boss killer because of that leave and rejoin. So every single time that someone leaves and rejoins, you need to kind of stop and look at the new team comp and just reevaluate it. So fortunately right here, there isn't too much of a switch here, but really the biggest switch is that the Saltspire is now more of the special killer than not. That looks like Fireball. So, and I'm going to assume it's Fireball. Yeah, that's Fireball. Because that's Fireball, Santa doesn't have any range, which means Saltspire is 100% now the special killer of the team. Because he is the one that can do it most reliably. Before, he and the Waystalker were kind of half special killers, but now because there's a Grill Knight, he is now the full special killer. Getting the important thing I see. I did like that you guys stayed the four of you stayed 2 and 2, kind of in a buddy system. That was a loud motorcycle. But in a situation where you guys are separated, you definitely do need to stay in kind of 2 and 2s in order to cover each other's backs for disablers. Oh, he missed that. And I also liked how Salt Spire got the Grail Knight up and then stayed with him rather than just kind of running off and doing his own thing. So that was very good that you stayed with him and then just kind of stayed 2 on 2. Another thing that I want to quickly talk about is the use of, or him pinging help when he got grabbed. A lot of people that I know or I've seen in games consider, you know, spamming help in that situation to be rude. But as long as you use the commands sparingly and you don't spam them too much, it's really not rude to spam, you know, like come here. If someone's, you know, off across the side of the map, or you spam help when you get a disabled. Because sometimes people genuinely don't realize that someone might be disabled, or sometimes people genuinely don't realize that they're separated from the group. And a quick ping of help or come here will let them know, oh, something is going on, and let me pay attention real quickly. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. So there's nothing wrong with him spamming help there. Now, of course, if he sat there and he spammed it 7 times, and he would spam help every single time he got disabled, and he was constantly spamming come here, then there would be a problem. But since that was his first time, there's no problem with that. The Sienna's pretty, I'm noticing that Sienna doesn't really like to use her staff that much, which is interesting, considering I think she's running Billhook, yeah. I know I'm not critiquing Sienna's gameplay since this is Cloud Alpha's video, but still, the Sienna should probably be using her Fireball staff a teeny bit more. Just in general, because that Horde clear is going to be huge. Especially considering that there is no other Horde clear in the game. Wait. Okay, also that assassin. But I did not realize that the Ironbreaker had crossbow. Usually Ironbreakers are in Drakefire weapons, but considering that the Ironbreaker has crossbow, pretty much he and Saltspire are now sharing the responsibility of special killing. So yeah. So it's nice that Saltspire isn't really by himself in that regard. When you're going up against specials or elites or disablers, it's definitely good to do what he's doing. I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. The grab heavy attack into overhead. It's definitely good to do that because it prevents them from actually being able to get any attacks off, which prevents you from eating damage. So when you're going up against those any kind of like bigger enemy with Billhook, you definitely want to be doing that if you can't afford it, because the grab does consume 1 stamina or half a bar. So right there, grab into the overhead, which prevents him from even starting. Beautiful. So remember what I said back then, there's not a lot of archers here, but they're a lot more deadly because they're now in a horde situation. So it's good that you picked off that archer, and I'm assuming you're going to pick off the archer after you get this this one guy. Because archers in a horde situation are a lot more deadly, because all it really takes is just one archer to ping you and drop your block for a split second so that you eat 20 hits and immediately die. So archers right now are a much higher priority target than they were previously. There's a banner dropping down. His, say his Billhook went away. Now, about that bomb, remember what I say a lot when it comes to bombs and, like, using your resources in Vermintide. It's better to use it in the moment it's better just to use something than hesitate and end up wiping. Now, that bomb, if we look back at it and we look at it, we can easily sit here and say, oh, that bomb was a waste. He shouldn't have thrown that bomb, to which I would agree. However, he made a decision in the moment and he stuck with it, and that's much, much better than him hesitating. So I would much rather him use that bomb right there and waste it than hesitating and wiping. Remember, it also, if you watch one of my recent videos, it also helps eliminate the idea of MMO brain. We're not playing MMOs. There's no reason to save your resources until the very, 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 very end of the map. Use them. They're there for a reason. This is what I was talking about. Archer hell. A lot of archers usually spawn out here. So you definitely need someone picking them off as time goes on, especially before right this moment when a horde comes. So usually, one person, either someone with a lot of mobility or someone with like a ranged weapon, needs to start picking off archers as fast as possible to prevent a problem. Because this is by far the most deadly part of the map, pretty much. Because a horde can come at you from virtually anywhere, archers can come at you from virtually everywhere, and being surrounded by a horde and archers is an easy, very quick way to death. Good use of your potion. Oh. Oh, boy. Yeah, okay, let's go back and talk about what just happened. I wanted to watch it. So, let's go back. So, you are over here trying to kill these two banners. However, notice... can I get a good angle on this? Notice that you are so far away from your team. And in a situation like this, you should be very close to your team. Especially when you heard that assassin spawn, you should be booking it back to your team, which is the reason I assume you drink your potion, which is very, very good on your part, to drink that potion so you can run back to your team. But real quickly, for those that don't know, the game kind of has a punishment system for if you leave your team. If the distance between you and the rest of your team is too far and the game deems that you are now currently alone, the game will purposefully immediately spawn specials to specifically come after you. So when you hear this assassin spawn, you can immediately assume that it's coming either from the left or to the right for you, the person alone. Which is already an indication that you are too far from your team. So you drink the potion to start running. The assassin leaps, grabs you. However, you are saved by the skin of your teeth from that Bestigor. And right here, I agree, you should be on the defensive to get that assassin dead. Normally, if there was no assassin, I would say use your ult to run away back to your team. But since that assassin's there, like I said, especially against an assassin, you don't want to run from disablers. You just want to face them head on and kill them. So now that's all that done. Now all that's done. You're still fighting by yourself, which... let's be real, your team has been really, really struggling this game, just in general, so you should be trying to go back to your team to help them, because they really do need your help. Luckily, they did survive, and there was only one down and no deaths, but you definitely were risking a lot more being by yourself than you were if you would have just stuck with your team. My green circle now, bitch. This part up here, it's not that bad. Sometimes a boss monster can spawn up here, which can cause a problem, but you can ledge them up to the top left up here, so the part coming up here really isn't that much of an issue. unless you get, like, spammed with, like, an insane amount of, like, specials and armored units and, like, a patrol or a boss. Like I said, this map isn't that bad unless you get really unlucky with RNG. Which, so far, you really haven't. This has been a pretty smooth run so far, all things considered when it comes to RNG. Aha, beautiful art. Love to see it. I think Dark Omens is like one of the last maps I actually need all my art pieces on. I'm not really sure off the top of my head. 2 assassins up, I hear. Ooh, the beautiful suck. Beautiful. Take an initiative to kill that special. Especially since you're pretty much the only one with any kind of range right now, since the Ironbreaker is currently out of bolts. So yeah, definitely good on you for taking that initiative to kill that assassin. That's another thing you should always be keeping an eye out for. Keep an eye out, especially if you have this mod that allows you to see people's, their ammo counter. You always want to be checking to make sure that, your team has, ammo. Sorry, I got a text and I just completely lost my train of thought. Let me rephrase that. If you have the mod that shows you people's ammo count, you want to be paying attention to see the ammo count of your team to see if you need to either A, give them ammo, or B, become the special killer until they get more ammo. That's what I was trying to say. Now, you don't have the mod that shows if people's on Death's Door, so I don't know if the, Sienna's on Death's Door or not. If she is, I would recommend just healing her now, because you're about to get to the area where it gives you guaranteed healing. But, it's really not big of a deal since you guys are already here anyway. So let's go ahead and skip forward to see, nothing really happens until, we get to the area where the, drops start coming in. So I'm interested to see... Whoa. Little bit of a lag there, I think. Oh, no, it's just me. But I'm interested to see how you guys are going to do during this. Now, a lot of people in the comments might be saying, whoa, look at this. His team's all the way back there, because there's 1, 2, and here's 3 over here, and he's all the way up here. He's separated from his team. And I would actually say to you right now, yes, and that's good. He's separated from his team. Why? Because, 1, there's a banner right here that needs to be taken care of as fast as possible. This banner right up here. And 2, there are no disablers coming. So he's pretty much completely safe to rush up here and destroy that banner as fast as possible. This is one of the few times in a map I would actually recommend that someone rush ahead in front of their team and be by themselves. Destroying that banner shuts down the horde before it becomes a problem. And allows your team, the ones that fall behind, to get out of that... to get out of this, like, little valley before a bannered beastman horde starts, you know, meeting them and becomes a problem for them. And this entire event is just very, very heavily scripted to begin with. The banners come from the same places. The hordes come from the same places. They come at the exact same times. The Minotaur spawns at the exact same interval. It's the exact same. So if you learn this event in its entirety, it's very easy to take care of. Something interesting, though, is that the banners, or the bannermen, what are they called? The Wargors. The Wargors who carry the banners are actually completely invulnerable until they throw down the banner. So, like that Girl Knight was doing, it's actually not a good idea to try to kill them until they place down the banner, because they will not die. I guess it's just Fat Shark's way of trying to not make this event a joke. Because, yeah, let's be real, most people would just directly kill those Wargors before they even got the banner down. Now, with this team, I would actually not recommend killing the Minotaur. This entire, I mean, actually, I think you guys are going to just do it. I don't think it matters. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Normally, you guys did actually just fine. But, normally, with a group that doesn't have the best boss damage, I wouldn't recommend killing the Minotaur. That Bestigor did not want you to drink that potion. But with a group that doesn't have good boss damage, I would not recommend that you kill the Minotaur because it's just going to waste time and waste health when you should be getting ready to fight the Horde and the banners that are about to come down. So that was partially done because the Grail Knight was there and was able to chunk his health pretty hard, and as well as you were pretty good at hitting those headshots with the Billhook, which allowed him to really, you know, tank his health as well. But like, if the Grail Knight wasn't here, I would have recommended that the Ironbreaker just hold the Minotaur the entire time while everyone else got ready to fight the Horde and destroy the banners as fast as possible, because when the crystal explodes, the Minotaur dies. But yeah, with that, that is the end of this gameplay, and that results in a victory. Good job. And if I had to give one overall tip, I would say it would be to stay with your team more. Of course, there was that one time towards the end where it actually was a good idea for you to run off and do something on your own. But for the most part, you should kind of look around and have more awareness as to where your team is in relevance to where you are, and try to stick with them a lot more. Not because you need them, but because they need you, if that makes sense. But yep, thank you again to Claude Alpha for showing or for submitting this gameplay for review. If you want to submit your gameplay for review as well, make sure to join the Discord below and check out the gameplay review submissions channel for instructions on how to do that. Thanks to y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace!